There are new developments in a case that terrorized the central U.S. for decades. Investigators believe that BTK Killer may have had more victims than we first knew. Emily Aketa now and what they found in his backyard this week.
What if the face of a loving father and community leader could hide the darkest of secrets?
He slayed 10 people, styling himself the bind, torture, kill murderer.
For over 30 years, Dennis Rader, known as BTK, terrorized an entire community.
Dennis Rader was a vicious killer who led a double life. To most, Rader appeared to be a family man and a pillar of his community. He was a Boy Scout leader and an active member of his church.
His true identity concealed behind a facade of normalcy. As he bound, tortured, and killed, he left behind chilling clues, playing a deadly game with the police and media. But when the public thought BTK was just a legend of the past, he reemerged to claim his infamy. Stay with us as we uncover the truth behind the monster who was hiding in plain sight, and the disturbing reality of how evil can blend seamlessly with everyday life. In the heart of America, a name would haunt the public conscience for decades. A name tied to terror, mystery, and a man who led a life hidden in plain sight. Dennis Rader. Known to the world as BTK, bind, torture, kill, his reign of terror began with a chilling message. I am BTK. I am the guy thereafter. For over 30 years, Rader led a double life. On one side, he was a devoted family man, a church president, and a well-respected member of his community. On the other, he was a sadistic serial killer who thrived on torturing, tormenting, and ultimately ending the lives of innocent women. This is not just the story of a killer. It's the story of a man whose vanity and pride would ultimately lead to his downfall. His terrifying story unravels the mind of a monster hidden in the shadows, a true testament to how evil can disguise itself behind a mask of normalcy. Chapter 1. The Early Years, a Seed of Darkness. Dennis Rader's story began long before he earned the moniker BTK. Born in the small town of Wichita, Kansas, in the early 1950s, Rader's early life seemed uneventful. But beneath the surface, something darker was at play. As a young boy, Dennis found himself alone for long stretches, as his parents worked long hours. It was during this time that his dark fantasies began to take root. He would spy on women from neighboring houses, dressed in women's clothing, while tying ropes around his neck. He found pleasure in watching the life drain from animals, hanging dogs and cats, each act fueling the monster within. He fantasized about women bound in various forms of restraint, and these visions would eventually become his brutal reality. Chapter 2. The Double Life. A Man of Two Faces. By all outward appearances, Dennis Rader led a typical life. He married Paula Dietz in 1971, and together they had 2 children. They bought a small home in Park City, Kansas. Dennis worked as a security installer for ADT, and his outwardly ordinary life gave no hint of the horrors he harbored inside. But beneath the surface, Rader's compulsions simmered. After moving back to Wichita, his drive to stalk, torture, and kill became an all-consuming obsession. His fantasies of bondage, torture, and strangulation began to take form as he carefully plotted his first attack. His target was Julia Otero, a 34-year-old mother of 3. For months, he observed her every move, documenting her life like a predator eyeing its prey. And on January 15, 1974, he made his move. Chapter 3. The First Kill, a Family Destroyed. It was an ordinary morning when Rader's dark fantasies came to life. He cut the phone lines and waited for the Otero family to come home. When 9-year-old Joey opened the door, Rader barged inside. With a gun in hand, he held the family hostage, leading them to their fate in the living room. In a carefully orchestrated plan, he tied up the family, suffocating Joseph Otero with a bag, while strangling his wife Julie with a rope. He moved on to the children, Josephine and Jody, killing them in cold blood before hiding their bodies. His actions were ruthless, cold, and calculated. The Otero family was no more, and Rader felt the thrill of his first kill, one that would set the tone for his future reign of terror. Chapter 4. The Hunt. A Serial Killer is Born. Rader's killings weren't random. They were part of an unsettling pattern. After the Otero murders, he remained silent for a time. But his urges grew stronger, and in 1974, he stalked another victim, 21-year-old Catherine Bright. This time, his plan fell apart. Bright fought back fiercely, and although Rader managed to kill her, he was unable to fully execute his dark plans. He left behind traces. His failure marked the beginning of his downfall. But the desire for more would never stop. Rader, obsessed with the media attention, began taunting police. He sent letters and cryptic messages, playing a dangerous game with law enforcement. He wanted recognition, he wanted fame. And BTK was born, named after his twisted modus operandi: bind, torture, kill. Chapter 5. The calm before the storm, silence and return. In 1979, after a lengthy period of silence, Rader returned to the spotlight. His letters became more cryptic, filled with bizarre poetry and taunts directed at law enforcement. Each communication was calculated, designed to keep the public in fear and confusion. Rader's hunger for recognition grew as the years went on, culminating in a series of gruesome murders that echoed his earlier killings. But after nearly a decade, Rader went silent again, his actions seemingly ceasing, as the investigation stalled and the public's attention waned. Yet Rader's presence was always looming, a shadow hanging over Wichita, until he resurfaced in the early 2000s. Chapter 6, the final act, the fall of BTK. Rader's arrogance would be his undoing. In 2004, after a long hiatus, BTK resurfaced with a vengeance. He sent a floppy disk to the police, inadvertently leaving a digital trace. The clue led investigators directly to Dennis Rader. DNA evidence tied him to the murders, and in a final, chilling moment of irony, the quiet family man was arrested. In 2005, Rader confessed to the murders, admitting to the deaths of 10 people over 3 decades. He was sentenced to 10 consecutive life sentences, and his family, once ignorant to his crimes, was left to pick up the pieces of a shattered reality. Chapter 7. Legacy of Terror. A community forever changed. Though BTK is now behind bars, his legacy of fear and trauma endures. Rader's victims are remembered, and the families he destroyed continue to mourn. The community of Wichita, once gripped by terror, slowly begins to heal. Yet the pain remains, etched into the memories of those who lived through the nightmare he created. As for Dennis Rader, he sits in a prison cell, a man stripped of his power and facade, but the damage is done. His story serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can hide behind the most ordinary of facades. The hidden truths of evil. The story of Dennis Rader is not just a tale of murder. It is a profound exploration of the nature of evil. It raises uncomfortable questions about the duality of man, the darkness that can reside in the most ordinary places, and the human capacity for cruelty hidden behind a mask of normalcy. As we reflect on the horrors Rader inflicted upon his victims, we are forced to confront the reality that evil does not always announce itself. It lurks in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. And even now, as Rader serves his sentence, the world is left to wonder, how many more victims did he have? And will we ever truly understand the darkness that drove him? And there it is, the chilling truth behind Dennis Rader, the BTK Killer, a man who hid in plain sight for decades, leaving behind a legacy of terror. It's a haunting reminder of how darkness can linger where we least expect it. But just when you think the world is safe, there's always more to discover. Don't let your curiosity fade, there's more lurking in the shadows. Our next video dives deep into the mystery of the Rader children disappearance, a case that continues to puzzle investigators and ignite intense debate. Could there be more to this story than we've been told? You won't want to miss it. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because you don't want to miss any of the chilling, mind-bending mysteries we'll uncover next. Join us on this journey of discovery, because when you're part of this community, you'll always be one step ahead of the truth. See you in the next video.